Well, the company has changed tremendously in the past 12 months. We've acquired 3 companies, 2 in Australia, 1 in Europe. So I think there are two key messages we're communicating to the market. One is that nobody can do it as well as we can in the Asia-Pacific region. What we have in place in terms of infrastructure, people on the ground, is second to none. And we want to make sure that when customers think Asia, they think SpeedCast. And the second message is that with the acquisition of Electricom satellite services based here in Rotterdam, Electricom being a service provider specialized on the maritime VSAT, we really have a global footprint in terms of our capabilities to support our maritime customers. I believe we're in the top 5 globally in terms of the number of vessels we served, and we're really enhancing our profile in that maritime industry with capabilities that I think have become very interesting. Yes, we are, not necessarily directly though, but we are supporting Panasonic Avionics and providing services to them, especially for their coverage into Australia and the Pacific. We are also active in land mobility and with flyways, serving NGOs, exploration companies, military, government customers. Well, first of all, we're lucky enough to be based in a region that is seeing a lot of growth. So the Asia-Pacific market is growing, so is Africa, and we're growing with the market in Asia. We're going into Africa because our customers are asking us to serve them in Africa. Obviously, we have a lot of customers in the Asia-Pacific region, Chinese, Australian, Japanese, that are investing heavily into Africa, and we're following them there to serve them in Africa and provide them the same level of service and support in Africa as we do in Asia. So that's a growth area for us. Now, in terms of vertical, we certainly see a significant potential with the maritime industry, and we'll continue to invest in that vertical. And we've been quite lucky with cellular backhaul. We've done quite a number of projects in the Southeast Asia, South Asian regions, and we see that continuing in the near future. Yes, we're seeing 2 different evolutions really, and we're trying to translate that into our service offering. One is towards bigger sales with more data, and one towards very small sales in very remote rural areas. And obviously the technologies that we're going to use to serve those 2 needs are quite different. I'm not good at forecasting things, I've noticed over the years. I got it wrong a few times. But it will change. Having said that, I think the important elements of what we offer to our customers will remain there. They will continue to be the key aspects we need to invest into, and I'm thinking about customer support, field engineering, the ability to design advanced IP networks that can properly carry our customers' applications. So we've been investing a lot in all of this, which goes really beyond the physical layer, beyond just the pipe. It's how we support the customer on the ground and how we enable applications on the link, and how also we provide additional value-added services, which is an important part of our R&D activities. I think that will continue. The physical layer, the link, will change, but to us it doesn't matter really. We've always been technology agnostic and band agnostic. We don't care whether it's CKU or K. We don't care what VSAT technology we're using. What we care about is the availability of the service, it's the speed we're delivering, it's the cost per megabit. That's what we're looking at, really. Well, there are a number of choices, but I think for us right now the main area of analysis, discussion internally is around the satellites. So it's what's happening in the sky more than what's happening on the ground. Where I think the VSAT technologies, they're evolving, they're improving, but we're using the main ones and they're going where we want them to go, so it's good. But in the sky, there are real new propositions that change significantly what we're offering and sometimes the business model as well. And yesterday, Serge from New Tech talked about open networks versus closed networks. That's a very important discussion. So for us, in terms of technology, it's all about what do we do with systems that can offer much more bandwidth and or a lower cost per megabit. And for the past few years, these systems have been mostly in K-band, but the benefits of these systems did not come from the frequency itself, from the fact that it was K-band. It came from the concept of small spot beams with high throughput, frequency reuse, etc. So now there are other systems launching with Ku-band as the frequency. So we're looking at Ku, but most importantly, the architecture of those new satellites and how we can make use of them. We obviously prefer open networks versus closed networks. And the whole question is, today we are offering a megabit to a customer at X. What will be the price of that megabit 3-4 years from now with those new systems? Or for the same price, can we offer 3 megabit instead of 1? And I think that's what we're trying to understand and to work with. The challenge here is that with spot beam satellites, you need a lot of gateways to command those beams, which means that when you're a VSAT service provider, you need to put hubs in multiple gateways. It's a very significant CapEx, capital expense. That's why so far the satellite operators have taken on that CapEx and have put themselves VSAT platforms to provide services in all the beams. So I think that CapEx challenge is important. It's all around the architecture of the satellite and the flexibility at the satellite level to use certain beams individually. We're rarely interested by the complete coverage of a spot beam satellite. We want to be able to pick and choose certain spot beams.